Welcome back to Truth Is. I'm your host, Ivan Vincent. This is episode 11. We're going to title this one Correcting the Lies, because what I want to do is here the truth is objective. So the truth is literally stands on its own, okay? I'm going to debunk some of the lies that are being told by the mainstream media and some of these lefties that have come on to Truth Social and some of the other platforms are still parroting the same stuff like they don't know. But anyway, I'm going to present some of that evidence to you. Some of it, thanks to Dan Bongino, I have some of it from him. I have collected evidence from different places about everything from J6 to even things that nobody's talking about anyway. But we'll get right to it. Welcome back. Now, first thing I want to do is I keep hearing this, and it's not just the media, it's stupid people on the left, and I'm sorry, they're stupid. Most of them are stupid. I've listened to them over the years. The rants they come up with are so far out in left field. There's not even anything you can say about it except it's complete lunacy, And if I try to even take my time to fathom, to understand what they were talking about, I might end up as loony as they are. So, let's leave that at that. The first thing is, they keep saying this thing about Russia. Well, Russia was false. Okay, we proved this. This was proven in court. Russia was a dossier that was paid for by the Clinton campaign. They actually got fined. I produced that here. And then I produce the footnote that came from the Mueller report, okay, number 347, that also shows that they knew the Russians supported Hillary Clinton and not Donald Trump. Way back then in 2016, they knew that. And they've still been pushing this. So this is how bad the media is, that they keep saying that the Russians support Trump. It's not true. As a matter of fact, they just had, if I can find that clip, I might jump it in here. But actually, Putin said he'd rather have Biden in than, because Trump, he knows is not gonna play this, and he ain't gonna let him do all this stuff he's doing. Okay.
Байден или Трамп? Байден. Он человек более опытный, он прогнозируемый, он политик старой формации. Но мы будем работать с любым лидером США, которому окажет доверие американский народ.
Secondly, Trump shut down the pipeline that Russia was putting in the Nord Stream. You know all about it. He shut that deal down and said to Germany, look, you're going to buy gas from Russia. What did Joe Biden do? The first thing Joe Biden does when he gets in office, he shuts down our pipeline, and then he's made Russia the #1 exporter of natural gas now. So Russia's exporting natural gas and making money when Joe put us out of that business. Now how much money do you know? And then they still want to tax us for money, and they're throwing money away that they could have been making. The next little item, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each thing, so I want to kind of do a shorter video. I just want to go over a few things, and then We can discuss them, maybe in another video, or you can leave a question and maybe we'll go over it. Maybe I'll do a little thing sometime and take people's questions and answer them if I can. The next one was January 6th. Everybody in the world knows that nobody in their right mind would have actually committed an insurrection unarmed. All those people are in jail over a lie. It's bogus. The whole thing was bogus. They trapped those people. I've heard so many stories, and there's people who have J6 videos out, different takes on it, different views. I understand from the one I heard that once they lured all the people in, the police, they've got the people in, they wouldn't let them back out. So then they had a crowd. They were holding them in, and they started hitting them with tear gas. They killed 4 people, whether you know that or not. On January 6th, you think it was just Ashley Babbitt? No, they killed Rosalind Boylan. They killed Benjamin Phillips and Kevin Greason. Ashley Babbitt, Rosalind Boylan, Kevin Greason, and Benjamin Phillips. 4 people that they killed, and they weren't police officers. They weren't Capitol Police. They were all patriots, and they hit, from what I understand, was they were firing explosive rounds, and they have video of that too, when they were firing it into the crowds when the people were just standing there trapped in. So they trapped them inside the barricade, see, and then they wouldn't let them out. So they were sort of pushing the people in. You see how that's double jeopardy? They should, everybody who is on the J6 committee should be in jail right now. Every one of them. That's I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. This isn't a conspiracy theory. You all know these things. You all know what's been happening. Nobody would foment an insurrection unarmed. Period. End of story. Nobody in history ever did it and succeeded that I know of. Hey, if you can find a story like that, sure, post it up or ask me. I've never heard of it. Nobody in their right mind would do that. Take the most powerful government in the world and go in and take over their government unarmed. Yeah, right. Okay. So, again, they created this false narrative, and they were trying to bring weapons in, and that whole deal with the bombs, fake bombs. I gather they were fake bombs. I don't know the whole story yet. I don't think anybody does, because they hid the Secret Service's records, phone records, and everything. So there's a lot to be answered there. And Kamala Harris claimed that she was in the Capitol building, but no, she left and went to the DNC, where the bombs were. One of them. One was supposedly by the RNC or closer to it, or some club there around the corner or something. But it doesn't matter. The lady who found that, she works for a disinformation service. Now, why? I wonder why this just happened to be the lady that just happened to find this bomb that was set to go off in 20 minutes at the precise moment it stopped running, because it wasn't running when she found it. So this bomb just stopped ticking 20 minutes till the certification of the votes would start. 20 minutes, 12:40 p.m. 12:40 p.m. This bomb stops. The timers only have an hour on the dial. So they try to say they were there 13 all night. How were they there all night if there's only an hour dial on them? And then when that lady found that bomb close to the RNC, it was 20 minutes till, and it just happened to have stopped running right then, because she found it at 12:40 and it was set to go off in 20 minutes. This story is so bogus. There is something so sinister about this that this should be investigated. And everybody involved with J6, and I'm not talking about the Patriots, I'm talking about the ones in the government, they should all be in jail. I don't care if Mike Pence, all of them, they should be in jail. Nancy Pelosi, Mike Pence, Chuck Schumer, the Muriel Bowser. Let me show you that letter here. I got her letter right here. She signed it. Trump authorized the use of 20,000 up to 20. I think he started off with 10,000 or 20. I don't know what the original offer was. But then 3 days passed, and then she sent back a letter 2 days before J6 saying, no, we don't need your National Guard. Why? Why didn't they need the National Guard? When in history have we ever taken the more difficult choice when it comes to government? Why would they not want to be protecting the people just in case? Right? Okay. Now, I know just like you all that I don't believe it. I don't believe their story at all. I believe that all those people were it was an entrapment scheme. All those people were entrapped to create a narrative, and it was all to keep the objection that was signed by Ted Cruz that was presented by Paul Gosar, and it was presented to Mike Pence to look at it, and they fomented from the time he handed that to that signed objection to Mike Pence, and he accepted it. That's when they fomented the whole thing, the whole insurrection thing. And we had the tapes of the people just being let in by the police outside when the one pulled down the fence and was telling them to come on in. And then the ones inside letting them in. Come on. It doesn't take a genius to know they're lying out of their teeth. Every Democrat up there is corrupt. When I looked at how many of them signed this thing for this FISA, you'd think even one would be like, no, that's interfering in people's freedom. No, not one Democrat said, no, that's a bad idea. That tells you that every Democrat in the government is freaking corrupt. And some of the Republicans, they're corrupt. Assange may be right. It may be 98%. You know, I don't really know. I'd like to investigate, but, you know, they kind of don't let you investigate them. It's like when you give the criminal the jail key, the judge, the jury, and the jail. They're not going to investigate themselves, arrest themselves, and put themselves in jail. That's the problem, and that's what you call a dictatorship. Again, our rights were granted to us not by the Constitution. The Constitution is the chains that bind the government from stepping on the rights that were declared by the Declaration of Independence to be inalienable God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is, a lot of people misunderstand the intention that the Founding Fathers had, because they had already, when they signed the Declaration of Independence, they already knew they were going to make the Constitution to control the government. That was already planned, see? It wasn't something they just figured out then. They knew it before they wrote the Declaration of Independence. So their idea then was to say, you know what? This way, if the government ever starts to break the chains of the Constitution, the people will know when they become despotic. And see, everybody's confused about that and can't figure it out. When they break the original 10 amendments, that's the Bill of Rights, the original 10 amendments, when they've broken every single one of those, and they have now, if they're quartering people that they're bringing in illegals as an army and forcing people to quarter them, that's the last one that I had on my list that wasn't broken. They broke it, all 10 of the original amendments of the Bill of Rights. Now, that's if you don't think that's a long train of abuses, then you need to wake up. Because every amendment that was passed after the 10th, I've looked over them, and there's a problem with them, okay? And now people say, well, what about the one that give blacks and stuff that... According to the original founding document of the Declaration of Independence, blacks and everybody should have been free to start with. So where the confusion started between there and the time the Constitution was signed, ratified, because how this happened, there's a lot of, and I think they purposely confuse history so that people can't figure out where we went wrong. A lot of people say it was 1871, the government sold us out, became the U.S. corporation and this and that. Well, anyway, I got a book that was written by a guy, Melvin Stamper. It's called Fruit from a Poisonous Tree. It actually goes into the whole story. You can check it out if you ever get a chance. The next thing I want to get to, okay? January 6th was not worse than Pearl Harbor. It was not worse than 9/11. My grandfather was at Pearl Harbor. My grandfather got a Purple Heart for being injured at Pearl Harbor. He survived Pearl Harbor, okay? But his friend wasn't so lucky, okay? And, it's disgusting to me that they do even make that comparison. I can't imagine the kind of mental gymnastics you had to play to compare January 6th, and then knowing what you've seen for the last 3 summers when they were burning down cities, and that was all just mostly peaceful, right? Right. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to this last little thing I wanted to bring up with Stormy Daniels. Okay, we have a letter written by Stormy Daniels herself. And I will read it to you. And this is so hilarious because they know the truth. I don't know where Stormy and Michael Cohen, their story is, because I almost think that Stormy Daniels was having an affair with Michael Cohen, and he was paying her off, and maybe he wanted Trump to pay him back his fees that he paid, and maybe he was trying to steal the money back out of the campaign finances or whatever for Trump. Okay, but it doesn't matter. He didn't make, I'll show you the letter from that too. He didn't, Trump never paid those. It was all Michael Cohen. Okay, so the letter from Stormy Daniels says, "To whom it may concern, over the past few weeks I have been asked countless times to comment on reports of an alleged sexual relationship I had with Donald Trump many, many, many years ago. The fact of the matter is that each party to this alleged affair denied its existence in 2006, 2011, 2016, 2017, and now again in 2018. And this was, that was 5 years ago. Now, 6 years ago. And now, so she might as well could have wrote that letter now and put 2024 on there too. I am not denying this affair because I was paid hush money, as has been reported in overseas owned tabloids. Who owns tabloids from overseas? Soros? Is that funded? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm denying this affair because it never happened. I will have no further comment on this matter. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram at the Stormy Daniels, one word. Thank you, Stormy Daniels. Okay, now we have her letter, and then we have the letter from Michael Cohen's lawyer. Yes, Michael Cohen's lawyer had a letter. Let's see, where did it go? I know it's here somewhere. I've pushed it back down here. Well, here we go. Dear Mr. Jordan, I am writing on behalf of my client Michael D. Cohen in response to your letter dated January the 30th, 2018. Specifically, this letter responds to the complaint numbered MUR 7313, which was filed with the Federal Election Commission, FEC, by Common Cause and Paul S. Ryan. In a private transaction in 2016, before the U.S. presidential election, Mr. Cohen used his own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Miss Stephanie Clifford. Neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Miss Clifford, and neither reimbursed Mr. Cohen for the payment directly or indirectly. Ha! See? Contrary to the allegations in the complaint, which are entirely speculative, neither Mr. Cohen nor Essential Consultants LLC made any in-kind contributions to Donald J. Trump for President Inc. or any other presidential campaign committee. Mr. Cohen has not been a government employee during any of the relevant time period. The payment in question does not constitute a campaign contribution or expenditure, and therefore the FEC lacks jurisdiction over this matter. The complainants have not and cannot present any evidence to the contrary. Accordingly, the complaint should be dismissed. Please contact me at your earliest convenience. There's the phone number. Stephen Ryan, counsel for Michael Cohen. Anyway, now you understand. There is all of this stuff is bogus. Everything they have on Trump. Now, if you want me to produce documents for the Mar-a-Lago raid, Trump had Presidential Records Act. He had the right to keep documents. If not, let's be hypocrites here, and let's not look at the 33 million documents that Barack Obama took with him when he left office. 33 million. How is it possible that he was in office for 2,900 and something days and that he took 33 million documents with him? There's something not right about that. I sit and figured it out. I think it's like they had been producing 11,000 documents per day? Per day. In order for them to have produced that many documents. And that's including weekends. Were they working weekends printing out documents? 33 million in 2,900, whatever you times 8 years times 365 days. It's 2,900 something. But that's ridiculous. There's no way he could have produced that many documents. So it got me to thinking they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win in 2016. They never expected Trump to win. So Obama was taking out records from, I guess, Bush, the Clintons, and his presidency. So he was taking out records for 3 administrations that he didn't want Trump to find. I'd lay you money on it that there's all kinds of stuff sitting in Obama's. I'd love to see some of the stuff in here. Of course, I can't look because I don't have security clearance, but I just love to find out what was in all those records he took. 33 million of them, okay? That's an awful lot. And you can say what you want about Trump. You're pointing your fingers at the wrong person, hypocrites, because Donald Trump isn't the one who's guilty. He's just being persecuted for going against the ones who are guilty. That's the truth. Anyway, you all take care, and we'll see you next time on Truth Is. One thing, my books are still available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Ivan T. Vincent, Book of Dracula 1. It's just Book of Dracula, and then Book of Dracula 2, The Hidden. My Time Upon Time book is just pages, literally pages from being done. It's also going to be a series of 2 books, which originally it was meant to be, and the Book of Dracula wasn't, but it ended up being 2 parts. So again, and I'm still struggling. I need help. I have a Give, Send, Go. I have a GoFundMe. They're posted up on some of my videos, the links. If you can help out, please do. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching.